Honorable Justice Lalit of the Supreme Court of India, my friend and Chief Justice Indrajit Mohanty, my friend and Justice Subhashish Talapatra, the Justice Arindam Loh, Justice Chattopadhyay of the Tripura High Court, of which I was a bench member, Justice U.B. Saha, I find, a former judge, Mr. Jain, Mr. Saigal, you've come all the way from Delhi. Another friend, Siddharth De, the Advocate General of Tripura, is here. Senior advocates, I wonder whether Mr. Dev is here or not, the President, and all the other seniors from whom I learned during my first stage of life as a judge. Ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, as I could hear the figure, there are 800 school children seated in this audience. I don't want to give a speech, but I want to tell you a few stories. And if you bear with me, perhaps you will also benefit as I have from those stories. In Justice Lalit, who is heading the National Legal Service Authority, we have a man of great compassion, one who understands the nuances, the advantages and disadvantages that spreads across the country's spectrum. And therefore, with his understanding of the situation, yesterday he was attending a program day before yesterday in another part of Northeast Mizoram, Aizawl, and he's traveling across the country to take forward the message of legal help and legal aid. And these stories relate to those events, and he's talking about the outreach program, and a program like this we did in Assam. We called it Reach Out and Respond. বাংলাতে বোধহয় বলতে হবে সাড়া দিলাম, তাই না? সাড়া যে দেবে, কে সাড়া দেবে? লিগ্যাল সার্ভিস অথরিটি সাড়া দেবে। আর প্রথম যেটা স্টোরি সেটা হলো, এক নম্বর একটা ইমেজ আছে, যদি তোমরা দেখো ভালো করে ওই ইমেজটা, ক্যান আই হ্যাভ দ্যাট ইমেজ অন দি মনিটর প্লিজ? নাম্বার ওয়ান, ইমেজ নাম্বার ওয়ান, it is of a lady. Do you have the number one image? Somebody can just put it across, please. Oh, is it there? All right. Now, this is an image of a lady, Ilasi Basumatari. When we learnt of Ilasi Basumatari, who lived in a very remote part of Assam, her condition was that for 3 days there was not a morsel of grain to feed herself and her 4 minor children. I was heading the Assam State Legal Service Authority, and I asked my district secretary then, Mr. Bora, to see what can be done for this lady. He went and he found her in such a pitiable state. She herself had no strength because she had not eaten for 3 days. Her children were fed kochu. You know kochu? Her children were fed kochu for 2-3 days. And the house, you can't call it a house. You have those flex boards and stuff. So that is how the structure where they were staying by the railway line. So the district secretary, he was so moved. He took out some money from his pocket. First thing he did is buy a bag full of rice for this lady. The others who had accompanied him, they all contributed. They bought a few bamboo sticks. Somebody bought a few tins. And they, on the day of the visit itself, they constructed. These were not money from Liga Seva Authority. These were money which came spontaneously from their pockets. Eventually, this lady who was a widow, she was given help, immediate help, that is available under various government schemes. Justice Lalit has been speaking about that in various functions. Only thing was that there was a disconnect between what was being provided by the government and what this deserving beneficiary is entitled to get by law. She got a ration card, she got a tube well for herself. Just now the Chief Justice and others have spoken about the right to education. She had 4 children, none of them were going to school. Each of these children, 4 children, within week were admitted to various schools, nearby schools. There were 2 boys and 2 girls. Ilasi Basumatari, she passed away, but she passed away after seeing that there was enough to feed herself and her family. Her children were going to school, and I got information as of yesterday, the eldest of the child is working, of course, not in a very fancy job, but he's earning his living. The second one was a girl. She got married to a respectable family. The next one to her was a young girl. The elder daughter, she had taken the young girl to her matrimonial home. She is living comfortably, having her education. And the 4th child, because the mother had passed away, was adopted by a local village man. And so that is the story number 1 of Ilasi Basumatari, with which we started the journey of Reach Out and Respond program in Assam. The next girl, the next story is again of a very remote tribal hamlet. Her name is Lal Remtling. Now, let me see what is the image that you are getting. What is the image that you are getting, Lal Remtling? You are looking at a lady, isn't it? Maybe past 20. Now, well, Lal Remtling, we contacted, that again was a story. She stayed about 7 to 8 hours drive from the district headquarters of Dima Hasao district. Lal Remtling lost her both limbs, lower limbs, in a mine explosion. That was an insurgency prone area. There was an army officer who had gone for an operation in those areas, and he found this girl barely able to do anything at all, but with help of 2 persons on her both sides, maybe she could go to the toilet, maybe attend to her needs. And this officer, the army officer who saw her during one of his operations in that remote area, he learnt of what is called the Jaipur foot. And he knew that if this girl could be taken to Jaipur, she could be fitted with those prosthetic limbs. And he was contacting the Jaipur foot people, but eventually he had got his transfer order. And that was the time when Dima Hasao district, which was a district administered under the Scheduled Areas Act, the army officer was getting transferred. The Legal Service Authority Secretary of Assam, he had traveled there to coordinate the transition from the scheduled courts to the normal courts, and so setting up a Legal Service Authority in that district. They were waiting to meet the Deputy Commissioner, and somehow the army officer who was on his transfer out order told him about the story of this girl and said that I'm getting out of this area and I don't think that girl will ever walk again. So my secretary, he informed me on telephone that this is what I have learned. Chief Justice of Guwahati High Court then was Justice Ajit Singh. I told Ajit Singh during the lunch recess, sir, this is what has happened. And I told him because Ajit Singh was very closely connected with the Jaipur foot people who are fitting prosthetic limbs. Ajit Singh immediately said, Rishikesh, please arrange to bring the girl to Guwahati. I will arrange the Jaipur foot people to come because we are planning such a program, a mega camp. But he said that forget about the mega camp. For this girl, we want to do she as the first case to fit her with the limbs. We got back to the army officer. He said, I'm going out, but I'm entrusting her responsibilities to another young army officer. So I said, all right, come on so-and-so date. They traveled for 19 hours road journey. Her parents could not come. She could not walk. One of her village younger brother, came along with her. My secretary in Guwahati received them at 3 a.m. in the morning, took them to a rest house so that they could rest for a while. At 9:30, myself and Chief Justice Ajit Singh, we arranged for 2 orthopedics doctors from the Guwahati Medical College to examine this girl. In the meantime, 2 specialists of Jaipur foot people had come to Guwahati, and we arranged for her measurements to be taken. And Ajit Singh, he said, brother, we'll now go back, hold court, and he invited Ms. Lal to come and have a tea at the end of the day. During the entire day, they measured her limbs, they fitted her with prosthetics, and in the evening, she came to the Chief Justice's residence to have a cup of tea. And after about 14 years, she lost her limb when she was 3. She was, with some support, was on her feet, walking in to have tea with the Chief Justice. And that was a great moment and happiness for all of us. But the greatest story is yet to come. When she was taken back to her village, the village had no electricity. They reached at dead of night. The local village people, ওরা জানতো কি লাল আজকে ফিরবে, আর ওরা জেনেছে কি লালের কিছু একটা ম্যাজিক একটা হয়েছে। ওই আর্মি ক্যাপ্টেন, ওর সঙ্গে 2-4 জন জওয়ান, ওই ছোট ভাই, ওরা সবাই they had gone to the village. It was in pitch darkness. Every house, ওই গায়ের সব কয়টা বাড়ির বাইরে একটা লালটেন জ্বালানো আছে, যাতে লাল আর ওর সঙ্গীরা লাইটে ফিরতে পারে। আর গায়ের লোকগুলো কি করছে, ওরা প্রার্থনা করছে কি থেকে যে কি হয়েছে, ভগবানের কি করুণা, ওই লাল যাকে আমরা সব সময় কারুর সাহায্যে চলাফেরা করতে দেখি, আজকে সেই লাল নিজের প্রস্থেটিক লিম্বে বাড়ি ফিরছে। এইটা হলো সেকেন্ড স্টোরি। অ্যান্ড দ্য থার্ড স্টোরি ইজ of Bibhash Pegu. We were again organizing a mega camp. In the mega camp, a paralegal volunteers who are our supports came and informed us that there is this boy Bibhash Pegu. Third picture is on. Bibhash Pegu. Sorry, Lal's story is not complete. She is now running a grocery shop in her village, earning her own livelihood. That is the story of Lal as on today. Now this Bibhash Pegu was a student of class 9, I think he just passed, and he was to take the matriculation examination. And he lost both his limbs in an accident. So in that camp, one paralegal volunteers informed us that this is the story. Parents are absolutely poor. Their only hope was this young boy who somehow they were arranging to put him to school. So Bibhash Pegu, when we learnt of this, our legal service people in Assam, through the Reach Out and Respond program, they arrange for a tricycle immediately. First a tricycle, and then in one of the mega camps when the Jaipur food people came, they fitted him with prosthetic limbs. And today, Vivash Pegu is a third year final graduate student. Now, so far as the government schemes are concerned, Ilashi Basumatari, Ms. Lal and Vivash Pegu, each of their families not only have got ration card, they've got their house sites allotted under the government scheme. Vivash Pegu's family is shortlisted for a Prime Minister's Awas Yojana. Now all this is happening through coordination of the paralegal volunteers, and that is where I want to emphasize on the role of the Legal Service Authority. The stories have ended, but then let me just conclude by saying that in Justice Lalit, when he was inducted as a judge of the Supreme Court 2014, sir, the press and his colleagues, he was practicing in the Supreme Court, they noticed three qualities. And to the panel lawyers and the paralegal volunteers who are the support system for the Legal Service Authority's work, I want to draw attention to those 3 or 4 qualities. The first and foremost quality of Justice Lalit, I have sat with him in the bench, is of immense patience and his ability to listen. The second is he could articulate complex legal issue in very simple terms. Today we are going through the exhibition and interacting with the girls of Holy Cross schools. They were explaining the legal issues, perhaps in that very simplistic terms, as Justice Lalit would explain a complex legal issue when he was a lawyer to the court, and now that he is a member of the bench, to the people that he is addressing, lawyers and litigants. And then the immense hard work. He is reaching tonight. Tomorrow the board will at least have 50 cases, and perhaps he will burn the midnight oil to read through those briefs, as all Supreme Court judges are expected. But he is particularly tenacious. Perhaps his lady, ma'am, Ms. Amita, would also vouch for that. And there, let me also speak about the 2 or 3 ladies who are present here. Madam Amita, coincidentally, the house that I am residing in today was occupied previously by Justice Lalit. And there's a very funny kind of a room in that house. Funny because entire wall of that room is a rectangular shaped room. It has got only glass and there are Venetian curtains. So I was wondering what used to be the activity in this room. It's not a normal room in a house. Then I learned that Madam Lalit, she is teaching, taking care of special children, about 25, 30 of them, and the classes for those children is to be organized in that room. Ma'am, I salute you today. Because that compassion, unless it comes from within, it will not generate the love and warmth. There is another lady, in fact 2 ladies together associated. I go back a long time with Justice Indrajit Mohanty. His mother, Shakuntala, is it? Shakuntala Mohanty, wife of Barrister Ranjit Mohanty. She was involved with lot of work for the underprivileged children. She, together with her new daughter-in-law, Amita, are working for the downtrodden. And this is being done silently without expecting anything in return. And that is what it is all about. My wife Chandana is also here. She is a teacher in a college. She is also working and counseling the children who are having various psychological issues, other issues. So in a sense, we have some, in this room, apart from the three ladies we mentioned, the teachers who are there, the parents who have supported the children. Yesterday, that group of children, when they were performing the number from Tare Zameen Par, I mentioned that it appeared that each one of them was looking like an Amir Khan to us. And finally, let me end that the discipline of Justice Lalit is something that we need to all imbibe. The cultural nuances that Justice Subhashis Talapatra bring in all his endeavors, that is again something which I greatly respect. The 70 odd children of Oxylum School, when they were singing today, it sent so many positive vibrations in our bones, in our veins. One of the boys behind, I thought that at any moment he will break into a Michael Jackson moonwalk dance. That was the kind of spirit we are getting. And let me end by saying that apart from the qualities that I have mentioned of Justice Lalit, as a couple, there is also a recognition that perhaps they are, Mr. Justice and Madam Amita are the most good-looking couple in the Supreme Court bench. Thank you.